Alrighty. There we go. Yeah, I keep forgetting that this thing just starts. Here, let me... Let's see here. I'm just literally going to take this. Ugh. Morning, everybody. Under the weather here. This was probably going to be a pretty straightforward one. So let me paste. There we go. What is happening? What is happening? What's going on, people? What is happening? Shout out to Mario Heat. What's happening? Sam Ash. What's going on? Feature. What's happening, brother? CJ UK. How are you doing? So, the producer is in the building. What is happening? What is happening? What are we producing today? I can tell you what, I'm producing germs. So, yeah, not feeling too hot at all. So, getting over some gunk and been coughing the last 2 or 3 days. So just, let me try to do. All right, let me find. I have to find the podcast now. So bear with me. That way I can tweet it on out because I didn't do it. So let me. You all don't mind. You can go ahead and tweet this and share this. So it's not playing my Roll the PS-5 video, I see. Odd. Oh well. Let's take that down. Yeah, we don't talk about T-flops. This is true. This is true. So it is playing there, but it is not. All right, let's just do that. Let's do that. Yep. There we go. So just keep it on that. All right then. So CJ UK says it's mid-afternoon over here, and you got an hour left at work. Then it's Spider-Man time. Yeah, I know that time. Yeah, I know that time now. So I didn't before. So I definitely understand that time now. So let me let's do this real quick here. So there's that. There's this. Now if anybody wants to hop on, albeit quickly, if anybody wants to hop on, because like I said, my head is throbbing. I don't know if it's the meds that I'm on. But all right then. Now I can see people. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about some the Game Awards news. Let's see here. I'll take a little Q&A on the bag and how I'm gonna give you like a quick 48-hour, just kind of things I've seen with the bag, so to speak, and so this is my time with it. And but not a heck of a whole lot going on. PS-5 is the world's most powerful console. I I don't know why Microsoft. I don't know if you all saw them change the thing to the world's most powerful Xbox or something like that. It's like they changed it, you know. So again, and it is the world's most powerful Xbox. So I guess they were just trying to be more accurate. Um, Shout out to everybody that's here coming this morning. Hit that like button, people, if you don't mind. Don't be scared. It's Friday. I'm here. I'm hoarse a little bit. I've been taking some antibiotic. I do hope that everybody's had a good one, a good safe one. Yeah, leave your votes for Game of the Year. I mean, again, my Game of the Year is Final Fantasy VII, but it probably won't win. You know, so probably won't win. But that's my personal Game of the Year, and that's just me. I don't know, and I'm waxing nostalgia with it. I never played Final Fantasy VII on the other one, but I've heard great things about it, and I still don't know why Cloud's sword is bigger than he is, but that game to me I had a smile on my face the whole time I was playing it. So the best new character, I thought it was a tie between Jin Sakai and Abby from The Last of Us Part 2. But again, I don't even know if that's an award. And but yeah, if they're going to say best new game this year, again, for me it's Ghost of Tsushima, but I didn't play a whole lot of, a lot of games that are in those categories, I didn't play them. So, but shout out to Jeff Keighley. Like I said, I'll talk about that real quick. If you all don't know this, Jeff Keighley is able to get Tom Holland is going to be presenting an award, I believe, or making an announcement. Gal Gadot is going to be presenting an award, I believe, and so is Brie Larson. They're all scheduled to be at this event, and I think that's fantastic that they were able to get. At this point, I remember when this thing was struggling. I remember he was competing against, I don't know if you remember Spike TV. I don't even know if Spike TV still exists anymore. But Spike TV got more debuts for games at their Game and Awards show than the TGA, or VGA, whatever they're calling it. So I just call it the Game Awards. So, but I've never seen anything. I've never seen anything like it before. So to be able to get things to where things are now is amazing. I mean, Jeff Keighley was. I give credit where credit is due. But I don't know if you remember the Spike Awards, video game awards. I don't know if you all remember that. If you all going back to us that watched G4, they had an award show called G4ia. Where I remember G4ia, Grand Theft Auto Vice City won everything, and it was up against Halo, and it was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I think won everything, and I remember my friend to this day, Chris, was mad because Halo got actually stomped by Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I mean, Grand Theft Auto Vice City won Best Music, won Game of the Year. At the Euphoria, Jenna Jameson was there. Jenna Jameson played Candy Sucks in the game. And it was crazy. So, what is going on? The Max on one, what's happening? Congratulate me on, what are we congratulating me on? You trying to get over this cold? This Spike TV mercy? I don't know. See, I don't know. I do remember... I do remember the Spike TV Awards. Here's why I remember the Spike TV Awards. That's the first time we saw Mass Effect 3 in a trailer. That's the first trailer they ran. Was at the Spike TV Awards. You can probably still pull it up. And it'll say Spike TV, So, just it is what it is. But that's when we first saw the CGI. It was CGI from Mass Effect 3, and so I remember that from Spike Award. I'm like, oh my god, Spike's now my favorite video game award show. I think it was hosted by Samuel L. Jackson, and I actually made fun of it because that's the first time the people from The Walking Dead, they were there. The guy that played Norma Reedus was there. The black girl who never smiled, she was there. And I remember saying out loud, that's the first time I've ever seen that black girl smile. Because on that TV show, she just looks pissed off all the time. They denied Guerrera. I think that now she smiles all the time, you know, so she's got a beautiful smile. But yeah, on the TV show, she never smiles. But I remember making fun of it at the time. Of course, this is before YouTube, and they were. I remember watching G4, and Kevin Pereira was talking about downloading things to, you know, USB drives. I remember just saying, what's he talking about? You know, I remember saying that to myself, like, what's he talking about? You know, so, yeah. But what is going on? So somebody's playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla for PS5, and it's beautiful. I've heard nothing but great things about it. Yeah. Upchuck Gaming. Man, what's happening, Upchuck Gaming? How you doing, brother? Upchuck Gaming, you've been covering a little bit of everything on this channel. Shout out to you, brother. The Gaminator says, just wait for the meltdown if The Last of Us Part 2 wins Game of the Year. Yeah, like I said, I think the Gaming Awards are, is it Tuesday or Thursday? But I'll be working, so I'm not going to watch the Gaming Awards. But like I said, it's all subjective. It's like movies winning Oscars. Like every movie that's nominated for an Oscar for like Motion Picture of the Year or something like that, they all deserve it. So Final Fantasy, The Last of Us Part 2 does deserve. If it wins, like, well, it deserves it. It's one of the best games ever made. I enjoyed it. I mean, man, it got to a point where I felt sorry for Ellie. You know, just consumed with revenge, you know, and just the game is a little bit about the ending the cycle of violence, and between this ending the cycle of violence, period. So it is what it is. What games do I think is going to be revealed? Well, what do you all think? I know what games I would like to see, but I mean, you know, I've already said this. If I had my druthers, it would be SOCOM and Parasite Eve. But I got a feeling we're not going to see that. So I do think Optimus Code knows some stuff that he's sitting on, and he's just not revealing it. So maybe on 60 frames, no lag, maybe if Porter Rock's able to do another one next week, maybe Optimus Code gives us a little taste. So yeah, shout out to Optimus Code. He's been blocking people left and right with his pimp hand, I guess. He got a strong pimp hand, and he's been just blocking people left and right, you know, which I don't know why. I mean, people saying that he's gone pony, and I mean, Optimus Code actually came into the community and he tried. I actually thought, and he was correct, he was basically like, you know, there's just a lack of knowledge in the gaming space on how games are made and things like that. So he was trying to explain that, and, you know, he got attacked for it. I'm like, I never seen anything like it before in my life, you know, so, but what games do you all want to see? So, is today Friday? Yeah, today is Friday. I just want to make sure it's the 4th, okay. But you still remember watching E3 2006 on Spike TV? Yeah, I'm about to say because they put E3 on Spike TV. I remember that. So Optimus Code, what's up, man? He can't jump on early. Oh, can't jump on this early. Okay, I just wanted to pick. Code dropped a little nugget on 60 frames no lag, but he stopped himself, and I wanted to press him on it if he came in here. He was literally about to divulge something about the PS-5, and he stopped, and he said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing your Code. He said something to the effect of, he said, oh man, think. All right. It's been a while. I mean, I've been taking Vicks, Formula 44D, Robitussin. My throat has been killing me. All right. Code said something to the effect of, Sony has made sure that their console is not going to get outclassed. He said something like that. And I think Code knows what's underneath that hood. And I wanted to press him on it a little bit. And after he says that, J-Dub City will say something like, RDNA 3 confirmed. And then, at which I said, really? Is it RDNA 3? And then the conversation changed. So, again, based on my source who had been cagey, about that whole thing. He did say there's more stuff that will be coming out. The reason why a lot of stuff is out about the PS5, but as far as the processes, they're not letting a lot of that out yet. But some of that will start to come out. It's just simply, I think AMD is going to drop some more stuff next month, which is January. Next month is January. And I think they're going to be at CES. I think they're going to be the keynote speaker. Oh, and apparently, just to add something to the TGAs, a gaming show, Lisa Su may be on the gaming shows. May be on Keely's gaming show. So when you're getting CEOs and CFOs of companies to come in and talk to you, the Jeff Keighley is, I give him nothing but a round of applause, because I remember he was openly trying to source to get money for the gaming awards. So, but yeah, y'all, just shout out to Optimus Code. He's at work, you know, even though I got sick, so I'm off. I just had to call in. I feel bad though, so I mean I feel better, but it just that's the two games I would like to see unveiled. You know, I also like them to say that they purchased either Housemarque or Bluepoint, or both. I'm talking about Sony. For Microsoft, I hope we get a release date for Halo Infinite. Hopefully we see another trailer. Hopefully we see what the Initiative is working on. I mean, there's a rumor that it is the Initiative, which is one of Microsoft's first-party studios. That their game is going to be like it's going to be episodic. You know, it's a rumor though. That's why I didn't put it in my thread, because I really try not to report on rumors. I really try to stay away from it. So I may just do a rumor podcast. You know, look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. Little Timex social club there. But for all you all who were born in the 80s, you know what I'm talking about. So, at the end of the day, the PS5 has got some other processes working in it that there's a reason why Microsoft changed. I think one reason Microsoft changed the moniker to World's Most Powerful Xbox was that I do believe, and this is just my opinion, I do believe Phil Spencer does not like the toxicity, and him constantly talking about power and comparative power is adding to the toxicity. Now, that's just my opinion. And it doesn't help that he goes on podcasts with people that are known liars, okay? It doesn't help him at all. If his message is going to be less toxicity, I'm in his camp on that. But you got to lead by example, and you got to stop going on these podcasts where these dudes are nothing but toxic. And these people that work for you, you got to talk to them. I don't care if it's an email. I don't care if it's a wink and nod, or if it's a, hey, you push them down and you say, you're no longer going on this podcast because they've not been telling people the truth, and they haven't been. You know, so, but yeah, I mean, I listened to a podcast this morning, another content creator, and I won't say who it was, but the guy is just, now it's all about neither console has launched the games well, and yeah, neither console's launched well with a whole lot of games on it, and the games are crashing, and you know, games are crashing, so, and it shouldn't matter what, you know, and now all of a sudden it's, you know, the nothing matters, okay, except the games. And look, these guys have been talking cash, sugar, honey, and iced tea for a year. Ever since Phil Spencer walked out on stage last year at the Gaming Awards and they showed the box. They've been talking cash, sugar, honey, and iced tea for 1 year. So it's going to be 1 year of them getting drugged. That's just the way this works. Now, I could see if they came out on a podcast and say, guys, look, we misled you. We were wrong. We shouldn't have said the things we were saying. You know, we're just going to look at it for what it is. I've heard nothing about, I asked this guy about tools. He's a developer. He didn't know anything. He just said that the kits would get better for both. That's it. Okay, but Sony, there's something going on in Sony's system where you're not just seeing it with one or two games. Everything is better on the PlayStation 5. It's either the only, I mean, they were talking about Borderlands is even. And I'm like, how? Borderlands has less detail. Borderlands is mid to high settings on the Xbox Series X, which is still very good. It's a console, but it's sitting at high to ultra settings. What would be high to ultra settings on a PC on the PlayStation? You know, based on what I can see. Now, you know that somebody can correct me in the comment section. I will stand corrected. I got told that the graphics were going to be a difference, and that the Xbox is going to always be between mid to high settings, which is, let me make this clear, is very good. Okay, but PlayStation was always going to be a tier higher. I mean, for multiplayer games. I mean, I fully expect that now. We just got word that NBA 2K, I mean, I'm not going to buy NBA 2K, okay? But Digital Foundry did a thing on NBA 2K, and NBA 2K runs better on the PlayStation, period. So, and I saw an article where it specifically said that the Xbox's CPU is struggling. That it is struggling with bottlenecks. And this is why when Digital Foundry did their whole breakdown of Assassin's Creed Valhalla with all, it had the screen tearing and all that kind of stuff on Series X. If you go back and you listen to that, I don't even know if you can find it, the gentleman clearly said, the gentleman clearly said, quote, Xbox is going to have to drop the resolution to help prevent the screen tearing. And that's exactly what they did when they patched it. Okay? That's exactly what they did when they patched it. So now, not only, and it's still, it's performing better than it was at launch, which is good, but the PlayStation 5 version still outperforms it, and it looks better. So, and again, I don't care, because I haven't played Assassin's Creed yet. Now, I might play it later today, I don't know. And if I can, probably not, because I'll be going into detail about me playing Spider-Man at 60 frames a second, and I'm just like, geez. I mean, it is just so unfairly buttery smooth. But anyway, but that's what's going on. There's something going on with the CPU. And people can say to me, well, the CPU on the Xbox is it 3.8 gigahertz? But it drops. It's 3.8 for single threads. It's for SMT. I believe SMT are multi-threads. I mean, somebody can, again, correct me in the thing. Vija, you're there in the chat, brother. Go ahead and, if I'm wrong, just correct me. It's not a big deal. It's not like I care about it. I'm too sick to care about it right now. I don't care. I'm here in a house coat. The only thing that's missing is the friggin', what's that thing? The chicken noodle soup that I'm going to probably be making here in about another hour. That's if I can stay up that long. But the multi-threading system, which most games are built on multi-threads, there's something going on. I don't know if it drops down. It's just everything. The Mark Cerny's Road to PS5, he said something to the effect of, the GPU is not the only working component in your system. And he said something about everything around the GPU being clocked faster. And if it's clocked faster, then the GPU will work. It was some type of weird saying he said. But, like I said, I fell asleep for I've tried to listen to this thing 4 times and I can't do it. I'm going to bed. Dude, I'll try to listen. But by the time he gets to the streaming part, which is above my head, I'm gone. It is like that ASMR stuff for me. When it shows women rubbing their hands through people's hair. I mean, I'm out in 30 seconds. So, Capono 5150, it is when the rogue drops. Okay? It should not be dropping at all. And again, let me make this clear. According to the fanboys. Up, Lincoln Clay. You know what? I haven't tried it yet. As a matter of fact, today I will try to make a video where I'll try to, where I put Mass Effect Andromeda in the bag. And I got to talk about the bag too. So, but there's something going on with the CPU. Don't believe these idiot fanboys. Just look into that. Also look into the fact that the PS5's performance is close to like 12 teraflops or something like that is what I was told, but have to wait and see. I mean, how many of you all plan on getting the I wanted to talk about the 3060 versus the 2080 Ti so bad today, but I just don't feel like it at this point. So, but apparently a lot of people, the 3060 apparently is a monster. It's running Horizon Zero Dawn at like 88 frames a second. On PC. I was just like, jeez. You know. I also forgot when Aloy runs, she pants. She's like, that's the way I sound, you know, last night when I was coughing. Also, X CPU has 6 slower RAM and a lot. So yeah, Vijay's right. I mean, there's a lot going on with that split RAM. I'm really just trying to put you all on a pathway where you all can go find out what is going on. You know, and when you have split RAM versus unified RAM, all right, let's look at my PC, okay? I've got a SSD in my PC, and I've got an HDD. They don't talk to each other. They're not unified. It would be great if they were. That way, you know, the HDD can get augmented. But, you know, would you believe, what if I told you, remember the other day when I got that SSD and I showed it when I opened up the bag? What if I told you yesterday Amazon delivered another SSD? I kid you not. They delivered another SSD. So now I have 2 500 gigabyte SSDs. So, because one was considered lost, but it got found. So I'm going to probably call Amazon back and be like, so what is the protocol? Do I call Amazon back? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, they too busy for me anyway. And plus, I read them the Riot Act over that. I mean, I read them the Riot Act. So, but look into that. Look into the fact that that one has unified RAM, the other one does not. One very well may have RDNA 3 processes in it. One may not. I'm not here to say it does because I can't get hardcore confirmation. One guy told me it does have RDNA 3, or what's going to be RDNA 3. But I can't get another source on that, so I'm just kind of like, well, it is what it is. So, I feel better than I did, but I've been coughing for like the last 2 days, and I'm not coughing as much today. So, and maybe that, but man, after I take that Vicks Formula, what is it, Formula 44D, I ran out of tussin. So, but that's a form of tussin. But I got the big stuff. I had to break out the big boy on that. And then I had to go get an antibiotic. They actually delivered it to me, though. So, took them all damn day. But made me drowsy, so that's why I'm just kind of lethargic. Like, I didn't sleep well, you know. So this is one of those things. So yeah, shout out to Moore's Law is dead. Let me make this clear. He has said it, and he's been saying it for a while that he had been told that. But you know, and I know I was in Red Gaming Tech or Red Tech Gaming. He has said something similar. I'm not going to put words in nobody's mouth. You all can go and look those two brothers up and listen to them yourself. I don't, you know, the one guy I talked to, he did say it did have RDNA 3, or not. It's gonna have what is considered RDNA 3, but we have to wait and see. Like I said, I personally believe that the PS5 is Lisa Su and Mark Cerny's revenge on the entire industry for what happened to the PS3 cell architecture. Whatever that Sony wanted to market the cell architecture to go up against Pentium. I think there's another story to that. There's other people that have told that story. They know it much better than I do. But apparently they got stopped in their tracks, and I think Mark Cerny and Lisa Su had wanted payback against the entire industry. I think the PS5 is their Trojan horse. And who better to embarrass in front of everybody than a software giant like Microsoft with their console? The fact that Lisa Su walked out there and said that it's a monster that eats monsters, and here it is absolutely getting embarrassed based on paper specs. So this is embarrassing. And now, and shout out to everybody. Big shout out to Ash and Luca, because she did her upload, and I mentioned this the other day. She specifically said that people are buying Xbox primarily because that's where their friends are. And I'll reiterate, I do not understand that mentality. I don't do anything because that's where my friends are, okay? But that's me. I'm not mocking it. If that's what you kids do, I was always taught to be my own man. Because if your friends jumped, what was told to us is if your friends jumped off the bridge, would you jump off the bridge too? That was our lesson that we learned about friends, you know. So if you needed a kidney, with these people that you're doing these raids with, are they going to go ahead and donate a kidney to your sorry butt? Probably not. They'd be like, oh man, that sucks that you need a new kidney. Oh, can you go ahead and help us with this raid? I mean, that's what it's going to be. I mean, so they aren't, I mean, they're, you know, so, but that doesn't mean you can't meet some really good people online. There's a big difference, okay? But your friends, that's your inner circle that is helping you become a better person. Those are your friends, you know? But again, let me make that clear. I don't do anything because of that. I can play, I have games that I play online now. I play maybe with a handful of people online. But man, if somebody were to call me like right today, or, I mean, I've said this before, I can't imagine coming home. Let's just say I buy the game Godfall. Let's just say I buy the game. I can't imagine getting Godfall and then, and be at work doing paperwork or helping a family sign in and or whatever, going over stuff, going to answer a call light, and then be like, boy, I can't wait to get out of here to play Godfall with J-Dub City or something like that. That's just not in my mentality. I don't understand that. Now let me make this clear. I played online games back in the 90s with the Capture the Flag and Domination. We did all that on Ghost Recon in the 90s. And this was the mid-90s, okay? There was a game called Descent. There was an always online game. There was Forsaken. I think Forsaken is for consoles now. I mean, Forsaken's been around since the 90s, you know? So you all aren't doing anything new. So that's part of why I resist that, because it's like I've already done that. Been there, done that. When I see the console guys playing at 60 frames a second, they're just blown away by it. I'm like, to me, yes, that's the first thing I noticed when I gamed on PC is just everything I did at 30, but it was an Xbox game. Everything I did at 30, I was now doing at 60. All of it, you know, or higher, depending on what other things I turned down. The graphics were better. The frame pacing was better. The sound was better. Everything was amped up. So when I hear people say, well, I'm buying, you know, I want to play the best version of multiplats, my first question will always be, then why are you playing on a console? Okay, because the best version of multiplats are on PC. And then it turns into, well, I like the Xbox controller. Well, guess what? The Xbox controller plugs into your PC and you don't even have to go set it up. It just makes this little blinking noise and it go beep, boom, 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 and it's ready to play. So you're just running out of excuses. And finally, they had to grow pube hair and they said, well, I just prefer play on the console. Well, gee whiz, why did you say that at first? Okay, you just prefer play on a console. It's okay to say that. It's okay to man up and say that, you know. So, but don't tell me it's because of the best version of it's because of multiplats and stuff like that, because that's a lie. Microsoft supports PCs, which is gonna always play the best version of multiplats. It will not change. Okay, if I played NBA 2K on PC, not that I would, if I played NBA 2K on PC, I'm not gonna have frame drops, rogue frame drops, like they are having on the Xbox Series X. Okay, it's not gonna happen. You know, I'll just open up the frames and I'll play at 150 frames per second if I want to. You know, I'm just letting you know it can do stuff like that. So, It's just like with Cyberpunk. Okay, the best version of Cyberpunk. I mean, there were people bragging. They're like, well, Cyberpunk is going to be 60 frames per second on Series X. It's also 60 frames per second on the Stadia, I believe. I mean, what are we doing here? Seriously, I mean, you sound trifle. You sound trifle. So, somebody's gonna get the 3060. I'm jealous. I'm gonna build another PC though, and I'm gonna get a 3060. I think. Everything was running 1440p ultra, at least the test that I saw. And I tell you, a game that stressed the hell out of it was Microsoft Flight Simulator. That game was only hitting like 41 frames per second on the 3060 Ti. So I mean, that's a big game. Okay, that's a big game. That's a game that streams assets in. For all you all who don't know, there's not enough RAM. I guess they can't put all that information into a RAM. So they have to put everything on, they put a lot of that stuff in. Like if you sign up for the world stuff, if you were to take off from Dallas, Texas airport, whatever airport's in Dallas, Texas, if you play Microsoft's Flight Simulator today, let's just say you start playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you do that with Microsoft's Flight Sim and you have it updating like it has on Bing Weather, you could put Bing's weather report in, you'll get the Dallas weather. Whatever, you want the plane to take off at 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever the weather was at Dallas at 8 o'clock in the morning on takeoff, that's what you're going to get, including wind speed, including traffic that's in the sky. All that is part of the game, And but that brings me back to what the PS5 does, is the streaming in of assets. Now, and let me make this clear, I don't know how much of that is going on right now with the games that are out right now. But I do know when Sony starts concentrating on that, when these developers start concentrating on that, the PS5 is going to have it's going to have a major advantage over the Series X. The Series X's advantage, you would have thought, would have been based on the way games are made right now. Because games are made right now, let's just call it static. Okay, games that are made right now, like physically right now, based on paper specs, people are like, well, it should be better on the Series X. So I don't know how they got to that point. If they had just caveated it and just said, well, on paper, this should look and run better, because that's what Digital Foundry's doing. And shout out to Jay Barry. Jay Barry talked about this yesterday on his podcast. He is saying how Digital Foundry is acting like they're in shock. They're surprised. And the reason they are is because they're looking at the paper specs and they're like, this shouldn't be happening like this. But Digital Foundry at some point is going to have to come out and say, that we're not going to look at paper specs anymore until we get real world performance. They just did it with the 3060, and I think they're the ones who did the 3060 versus 2080 Ti. So why are they willing to wait on real world performance from those two major cards? I mean, those are major cards, okay? Versus these two consoles. That's why people are saying that they're paid off and that you can't trust them, and that's why people are saying that. Okay, because to me, I've always been in the bag of, well, I'm going to wait on to see what this is like. Because when Mark Cerny was talking about streaming in content, I'm thinking, how is that possible? I understand with the flight sim game, because again, if I'm going to leave Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm going to fly to Las Vegas, well, the simulator has time to map where I'm going. Okay, it's going to say, okay, you're going to fly here, then here. It's going to put waypoints in. That's why you fly your plane, and then you'll hear it say, you'll have to turn a certain point. That's a waypoint. That maps automatically. So I understand it, but there's so many airports just in the United States alone, they can't store all that. They have to stream that data into you. And there's people that will play Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm talking about on rigs. I'm talking about 2080 Ti's and i7s, and they've got the latest Ryzen chip, and they'll be in the middle of a flight, and then the whole screen go dark or go black because there's a data interruption. You know, so I mean, it does happen. It's part of the streaming the data in. So let me move to the bag, because this pretty much, I know that's why people are here. They want to hear about my experience with the bag. I've had the bag for 48 hours. I really didn't do a whole lot with it the first day I got it. You know, I put it together. I've got it standing upright. I turned it on. That's the first thing you have to understand. How you turn this thing on. What's up, Paul G? Thanks for the support, brother. So I turned the bag on, and I get it all. It only has 2 cords. It has a power cord. It has 3 cords. There's a power cord. It has an HDMI cable, and then it has the cord that you plug in the DualSense to. The DualSense is revolutionary. It is revolutionary. How can I say that? I played Spider-Man Remaster, 60 frames a second. Back, if you remember Peter Parker being in the lab, and he's helping Dr. Octavius, put his suit together. The suit is motorized. I don't know if y'all remember that his suit, Otto's suit, is motorized. Now, when you activate the joints on the when you're doing that stupid circuit thing, now when you activate the motor joints, it feels like a robotic arm. It's in the DualSense. It's amazing. And not only that, it knew where on the table the arm was. So the rumble of the stick of the gamepad, the rumble came from that. It was on the right hand side. It wasn't like the whole stick moved. The right lower part of the DualSense moved. And it made a robotic noise. It sounded like a robot. When I was turning it, it made this robotic. It's hard to explain unless you do it. But the fact that they got that much detail in at this short of time is, no pun intended, amazing. But that thing is revolutionary. Okay, I understand why Sony wants it to be on PC. I get it now. Because that is going to be the de facto way to play your games. There is no way. I can't imagine. I got people telling me that when they play Call of Duty, that the DualSense can pick up if you have the difference between a shotgun, the difference in a rifle, the difference in a handgun, and you know it's going to be no more of that, and you're going to shoot differently because it's different weights. If you ever shot guns, you know you got to shoot and stand differently with different guns. You know, so so that thing is revolutionary. Just that alone, that by itself. At that much detail, that early, I can't imagine what a Ratchet and Clank is going to be like. There's a very good chance, and I don't know this, don't quote me, I'm just kind of speaking about this. What if, let me put it as a what if. What if, when every time Ratchet and Clank pull themselves, through those rifts, you feel like you're going forward with that DualSense. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? And I'm not saying it's like that, but can you imagine that? Seriously. I mean, what if you play NBA 2K and they're able to get a feature in there that when your player is fouled on his right arm, the right side of that DualSense shakes when you get fouled. Okay, I'm not saying that it won't. I'm not saying that it may already be there for all I know, but that you have that. That is now possible. What if you're playing Madden and when you go to stiff arm somebody, you don't just hit the button and see the stiff arm. You actually feel like you're stiff arming somebody. Okay, that is now possible. Maybe not with this year's Madden, but maybe EA does it next year. Okay, so I'm just saying what is possible. Do not get what is possible with what is probable. There are 2 different things. This is not the RDX podcast. Okay, I am saying what is now possible, that kind of technology exists, which is amazing. I mean, because I can't imagine, or when you go to catch a ball on Madden, it feels like there's a ball there. Okay, so I'm just saying, no, I have not slept with the PS-5 yet. So the PS5, I have not watched a movie in it yet. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to watch Infinity War probably in it today. But so anyway, I turn it on, and the first thing it does is that it asks you for your email address. Now, this is the first mistake I made because my PS4 was hooked up to Yahoo, and I hooked this up to Google. So when I tried to sync the two together, which it recognized, but I could not check in on my email. So I couldn't get the PS4 to talk to the PS5. So it's not the end of the world. My problem was I could not even remember my password from Yahoo because I set this PS4 Pro up, I don't know, 3 years ago. I could not remember the password. I didn't save it. So everything I had to redo everything from scratch. But it sets up two different ways. So then I started playing Astro Boy or Astrobot, and he ain't got no pants on, but I'm pressing the buttons on my stick to make the game like stop. I don't want to play it no more. I'm just hopping around collecting coins. I thought it's a good platformer. It's a very good platformer, but I don't like platformers. I don't like Mario. I'll deal with Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong that's one of those first games I plunked quarters into when I was a kid. So that has a sentimental value to me, But I couldn't get it to stop. Like I would press like a square button, and the game would go back. It wouldn't let me go into the settings to invert the controllers. So because again, I like playing like I'm flying a plane. So when I pull back, I expect the screen to go up. Of course, when I was pulling back this time, the screen was going down. So everything was opposite. I'm sitting there, so I'm trying to, and that makes my head hurt. Okay, so I'm like, all right, I don't want to play Astro no more. Or Astrobot, whatever it's called, Astromet. And I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get it to go back home, so to speak. So I did the old-fashioned thing that I was taught when I was a kid when something wasn't working right. You just unplug it. So I unplugged the bag. And I plugged the bag back in after like 20 seconds. It reboots. It starts back up again. Now it takes me to a different screen. Okay? And this is not into the instructions, okay? None of this is in the I read the instruction booklet. And so the bag takes me, now it looks like the UI screen that you see everybody using, okay? I'm like, okay, well, let me try to find PS Now. I just, I go there, and I'm like, I type in PS Now, it pops up. I'm like, all right. So I'm getting excited. I got a little chub going. I download it, and then it asks me for the password from my Yahoo account. I'm like, oh my God, I can't think of it. So I go to PS Plus. I can't, again, same problem. And it's not Sony's fault. I can't remember my passwords. So, because I've got like 1,000 of them between Benchmark Sims and DCS and this, all other things, Twitter and Google and Yahoo and YouTube. I got like 1,000 things, and I change them constantly. So, so needless to say, my PS5 is naked, meaning that nothing from my PS4 I transferred into it. So it's naked. But now my UI is working the way you see it on TV. They made it look like on TV that this would be the way the UI works anyway. No, that's not it. That's not the way my UI set itself up. So you're going to have to spend time. This is when you do get the bag. You're going to have to spend time in your settings because nothing's automatic anymore. I plugged in my headset, and I've got a 7.1 headset. I've got a good headset. It's almost like it's not talking. It's like you have to go to this screen and tell it that it has a headset. But I don't think I have a 3D audio set. So it doesn't sound very good. And I went there 3 times. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have to watch a video on how to activate the headset 3D sound. Again, that is fine. I don't mind doing that. But there is no more just plugging in there. You get this you know, that big time sound that you used to get. My sound sounds like it's 5.1. So, but again, you have to spend time in the settings. Anyway, so needless to say, my PS4 is RIP. I took it to GameStop yesterday, and it's gone. GameStop gave me some money for that bag. Okay, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta start feeling better. I do want to go and get Assassin's Creed and or the name of that other one, Watch Dogs 3. Even though I never played Watch Dogs 2, so I don't know any of the characters. But I may not. I mean, like I said, my throat's still hurting. I take one of those Halls. I may switch to Luden's. I may have to do a whiskey sour. I don't know. I'm going to get rid of whatever this is. So I feel like I feel better, but I can't be around patients with a sore throat and coughing. So, especially with everything that's going on. But so when you do get the bag, it's not going to be. And understand, I've had a PlayStation since 2014, so I'm used to it working a certain way. It is not doing that. Again, it shouldn't. It's brand new. Okay, I can't expect something brand new to act like something, but there is no familiarity. I mean, there's nothing. Okay, the UI is like nothing I've ever seen. It's at first it looks fantastic. It's clean as hell. Okay, it is clean. Also, when I have a Samsung TV, so when I'm playing in HDR standard mode, my TV, all of a sudden it just starts getting darker. You know, so I know that's something within the settings because I had to do that with the PS4, but there's no natural feel. It's like you go to the display and it does ask you, do you want this? Do you want that? Everything is there, but there's no familiarity with it. You know, it is a brand new UI, so I do have to go in. I just have to spend time doing it. I feel like sitting there hitting the buttons, but it comes with a voice activating thing that's annoying as the dickens, but it's nice to have. Mine, all of a sudden, it just stopped working. I didn't tell it to stop. I remember just saying, man, I wish this thing would shut up. And then the next thing you know, it wasn't talking anymore. So, the console itself is a work of art. It's very quiet. When you turn it on, it's blue. It's blue LED when you turn it on. Now, as I was playing, the lights turned white on it. So I don't know if Sony, now this is just something I would love to see. I hope Sony can put maybe patch it one day where it can be blue lights or green lights or red lights or purple lights. Maybe that's possible. There's a whole lot more coming. But the console itself is extremely quiet. Like, I'm talking super quiet. Another thing, the console I have, I was able to get my hands on, shout out to Ember 17. It's vertical, but you do understand, because it's vertical, it is truly designed to be laying down. So I put my Spider-Man Miles Morales disc in there, and I put it in there upside down because so you have to put it if your stand is vertical, you have to put it where the plate of the game is facing you. So again, I didn't know this. So I put it in the bag. I got all excited. That little silver thing came up there, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And then it was like, cannot read disc. I'm like, I immediately think it's default. I'm like, oh my God, it's faulty. I got a bad disc reader or something like that. So then I go online and I just type in on YouTube, how do I put a disc in the PS5? And there is somebody with the video up, and he has it standing vertically, and he says you have to put it in with the face up, not face down. Okay, because the thing is on its side. So, and I just did it wrong. So again, that's nothing Sony did wrong. That's just me not realizing, okay, if it's laying on its side, the disc is going to go in. And like the guy said, just imagine it laying on its side and put the disc in like that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So, but anyway, so I got some apps loaded. I got YouTube loaded. It's already synced in. I tried to put Twitter on there this morning, but I forgot my password.
So I may or may not link it up to Twitter. I you know, probably after I get some more stuff done. I have taken some screenshots. That is not as intuitive for me as it used to be. It used to be, bam, you hit that button and you can just boom. I can move real fast, but I'm not used to the controller yet. The controller is heavier, it's denser, and it does take time to get used to how you can pull on the sticks, because sometimes you have to pull heavy to do certain things, and that's fine. It's a learning curve, and like all new things, it's a learning curve. And you have to be willing to get down there and learn. And the system itself, though, it's the song that's playing in the background when you turn it on, that is from the PS2. Okay, so if you had a PS2, that sound it made when you were in your loading screen, that's the sound that's back now. And so that was immediate, like, wow. If you play the Astro Bot game, that is a history of PlayStation. You're looking at a walking history of PlayStation, and it's amazing. So that game itself is amazing, but I don't like platformers, but I do think that's a good game. And yeah, I am. But as far as the console itself, it is big. It's not as it's the same. It is actually roughly the same size. It's a little bit wider than my 4K Blu-ray player. Okay? It's the same size as far as length. It's a little bit wider though, but it's not heavy. My 4K Blu-ray player is actually heavier than the PS5. It's nice, and I've had it on for I had it on for 2 hours the first night I had it. I played Spider-Man for 2 hours at 60 frames a second. OMG, and I do believe, and this is the remaster, I do believe it is 4K. I think it's 4K. I don't know. Is it 1800p? Is it checkerboarded? The thing at 60 FPS is friggin' amazing. That's the way I gotta play Spider-Man at this point. I will go back in and do the graphics mode, because I do think they put some ray tracing on there. You can see the differences that I see off the top, or you see more airplane. They said they had more assets in there, and the first thing I recognize is you do have more assets. Okay, and there's more helicopters, there's more planes in the air. Everything is distinct. Everything looks cleaner. The draw distances are really good with that game. It was already good, but man, it was real good. So just getting used to replaying. I haven't played Spider-Man since 2018. So so just getting used to playing it and putting my fingers on the stick on that gamepad now in certain spots. I gotta hold it a little bit lighter because it's heavier. So I have a different feel of grip on it. It's nice. They built a nice system, and so is it the best system? I have not had it on long enough to discern that, but it is one of the better systems that Sony has put out. It does give you PS2 vibes. The potential is there for a PS2 vibe, but it is it's a pretty standard. Like I said, it came with 3 cores. It wasn't very difficult to set up. It was just kind of it's not intuitive anymore. That's the thing that I miss about the PS4 already, is how intuitive that felt, at least for me. This one is, like I said, it's a little more work on that UI. And but once people keep saying, and shout out to Jay Barry, and he said that once you get it down, it's fine. I was moving around it yesterday, and I wasn't thinking about it. Like, oh, I can just go here and do that. I can go here and do that. The loading times are sickening. They are sickening. I think my Spider-Man, I think he died 3 times, and there wasn't that load screen, which you can actually go back in and put in. I don't know if you remember, you played Spider-Man from 2018. One of the first things that you could go that screen when it was loading, that you could turn that back on, but I don't want to, because that game, literally, my character died, and within 3 seconds or 2 seconds, I was right back playing again. I was like, damn. I mean, so it did work. You know, so it is everything they said it was going to be. That the speed. You clearly see that first. The game Miles Morales loaded extremely fast. Loaded fast. I haven't played it yet. And again, Miles Morales is a continuation story, so I'm gonna play Spider-Man first and then do the sequel, which is the Miles Morales. Now a lot of people made a legitimate point. They're like, wait a minute, you got a next-gen console and you haven't played a next-gen game yet. Technically, no. I'm playing an old game that's been remastered. So, but it's remastered for this generation. But this is why I may get Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed. I don't know. So shout out to J-Dub City. He was playing Madden. It's just stuff like that I gotta redo, you know. So, which is fine. So, welcome to the PS5 Club. Well, thank you, Social. True Virgil, how you doing? So, but the bag is nice, and I haven't had it that long, and I think I've just been on it for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours the first time I turned it on, and then I played for about two and a half hours. So, you do have to get used to the new look that Spider-Man has. I still like the other look better. I will say this, he is supposed to be 26 years old, and he does look more closer to 26, okay? Whereas the other guy looked like he was in his early 30s. Let's just keep it 100%. He did look like he was in his early 30s. And he's in a mask 90% of the time. So, the bag is fine. It's right over there. So, and also another thing that happened the other day is the McRib came back. The McRib is back in town. So it's the way it should be. You know, it is. It's the way it should. It's just the way it should be. But hit that like button, people. Hit that super chat button as well. There's 70 people in here, and I only have 31 likes. So unless you want to hear me start singing the Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple Pilots, you need to hit that like button. You know. But I understand, like I said, even though you're here, I'm here, and you hear, you know, all this sexual chocolate over here, and it takes your breath away. You forget to hit the like button. Just hit that like button for me. So, also, it does have a preview screen, which I don't want to give everything away, but it does have this preview screen, and Gran Turismo 7 dropped in that preview as a coming soon, but it's not that big a deal because it's got Horizon West on there. Forbidden West, that's coming soon as well. You know, I did re-sign up for PS Plus, so I get the PlayStation Game of the Year or whatever those things are. You get like the 15 PlayStation games or something like that will just download automatically if I want them. I looked at that list. I'm like, well, I didn't see Lost Legacy on that list, and that is my favorite Uncharted game. So, how's the bag acting? It's right now. It's off. So it's acting fine. I've not had any issues. I've just been just taking baby steps with it. I'm not gonna put a bunch of PS4 games on there. I am going to try to put Mass Effect Andromeda in there. If you don't know, Casey Hudson and some other guy left from BioWare. So this is Casey Hudson's second time leaving BioWare. And so I have to wait and see what that was about. But as long as they get the Mass Effect Legendary Edition out, if that's his calling card, so be it. So be it. So what's up? Guapzilla says it's locked at 4K 60 or 4K 30 with ray tracing. The pedestrian industry is insane, especially after a fight in the streets. That is true. You do notice that. You do notice there's more density with the pedestrians. So I will say that. What's up, Grudia Legends? So, let me just say this. I could be this a sadistic SOB, but I've been watching some of these videos that people have put out about how they stood in line for the bag. I mean, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube about it, and I have never seen, these are some of the stupidest people I've seen in my life. I'll speak for my GameStop that's around the corner from me, because I did go up there and I did talk to them. The guy up there told me flat out that he was there the night before and he did something that he wasn't supposed to do. He told the people they only had 2 PlayStation 5s. Now, there were 40 people in line, and this was Thanksgiving. He said there were people already in line. I didn't know this. Wednesday afternoon. People got in line Wednesday afternoon. Of course, Thanksgiving was Thursday. I walked past GameStop on my way to my Black Friday sale at Best Buy. You remember, I went to Best Buy, then I went over to Target, then I walked over in the Kohl's, then I came home. Okay, so, it is disappointing that there are people literally standing in line for 2 to 3 items, and they're number 40 in line. Well, just because they said they only had 2, they didn't confirm that, therefore they may have another one. Like, they're going to actually speak this thing into existence. And I've never seen anything like it in my life, okay? I've seen women being delusional because women will try to speak things into existence. I've never seen men do this before. I mean, these people need help. I mean, somebody brought, that dude brought a bed. I mean, how you gonna, they brought a bed. And again, shout out to the man who brought the bed, because because you got to do things for the hell of it. But, because you do some things for the hell of it, I understand. Okay? I played, well, like I said, we were under a tornado watch one time, or actually it was a tornado warning. It was a tornado on the ground. And we went outside and played football in it. Okay? I mean, you talk about, we could have been killed out there. That debris you see on TVs when tornadoes are close, those are houses and cars and stuff like that. And it looks tiny on TV. I mean, they're like, man, we're going to get killed out here. The police driving past there on their loudspeakers. You all are effing stupid. I mean, that's what they were saying to us. So, but these people that are standing in line, I'm going to say this for everybody's sake. I mean, because there's people getting, and let me make this clear. People are getting frustrated. They're getting mad. They're blaming Microsoft. They're blaming Sony. One guy said that, because he stayed there all night long, that it was inconsiderate for the guy not to sell him one, even though he only had like 2 there, and he was number 16 in line. It's just like, what? They don't have any. You gotta go somewhere else. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying that. And people are like, well, you can say that now because you got one. No, I would. That would be what I would say to anybody. Okay, that's what I would say to anybody. I specifically have said the PS-5 is harder to get than a damn Cabbage Patch doll and Tickle Me Elmo combined. It is the hardest thing to go get. So, and I don't understand how people have gotten 2, 3, 4. Like, I don't get it. Like, shout out to the people that have done that. But you got to be lucky and you got to be good. So, it's amazing that they're able to get that. Last night, they dropped on Target. I don't know if people know that. Okay, they dropped on Target last night, like at 2 o'clock in the morning. You have people doing these live streams that, they're doing live streams while looking for the bag. It's the stupidest thing I've seen in my life. I mean, what are we doing here? And then something will happen, and they'll go, oh yeah, that's what they sound like, and it's crazy at this point. I've said this before. You're gonna have to wait till next year. And guess what? The sun will rise. It's gonna be hot and cold. Your wife's still gonna give you some. Your wife's still gonna go ahead and give you some viscosity. It's not over. I mean. I long for the days, and I can just tell you, somebody in the medical field, maybe in the next 150 days, things can start getting back to what it was once we get this stuff out that we need to get out. But the fact that they're dropping things online, and you're hearing people say Microsoft and Sony need to do something about the bots, and it's not fair, and again, you all never learned how to lose. Okay, anytime you think you deserve something, because you stood there all night long, my uncle, God rest his soul, my Uncle Herbert, would say you waited all night long for something. The only thing you deserve is an ass whooping. Okay, that's what my Uncle Herbert would say. The only thing you deserve is an ass whooping for waiting that long for something. So and when they're telling you, this guy literally come out and was like, we only have this many. And these are videos that are on. I'm not putting words in people's mouth. They're like, we only have 2, we only have 4, we only have 3. It's inconsiderate because I stayed up here all night long, like the Lionel Richie song, all night long. That doesn't mean you're gonna get something. But like I said, it's a generation of people who just they all won when they were kids. I don't care if you struck out 8 times in a baseball game with a man on base, they still gave you a trophy. Okay? I don't care how bad, something turned out. I don't care if your cheerleading squad, if you were a female and you were cheerleading and your squad was just outright trash. Okay, you were 9th. There were 10 teams and you all came in 12th. Okay, your cheerleading squad was so bad that it lost to a team that wasn't even there. They still gave you a trophy. And so now that has produced a bunch of young adults who feel like they all deserve something. And I'm going to say this, and I mean it, the only thing you deserve is an ass whooping. That's it. You deserve an ass whooping. But you never learned how to lose. Okay? You never learned how to lose. And because you don't know how to lose, you think you deserve something. You don't deserve nothing. I didn't deserve the bag. I got lucky. I got lucky. Period. How did I get the bag? Pure, unadulterated luck. Okay? Luck. Not skill. Luck. It's not a game of skill. It's luck. It's a game of chance. Somebody had 2 of them. I said, would you sell me one? And they said yes. So, again, pure luck. Pure luck. All right? There are hospitals, like St. Jude's Hospital for kids. They can't get one. Okay? And this is a hospital that's treating kids with all type of ailments. They're pleading with Sony to get one. Okay? They were able to get a Series S and X from Microsoft at all St. Jude's. They've not been able to get a PlayStation because they can't make them fast enough. I specifically said to Jay Barry and to Persona that Sony's issue is going to be they're not going to be able to keep up with demand. The United States alone needed 12 million, okay, just to keep up, and they've sold what 2.8 million. That ain't enough. They don't have enough to keep up with demand. They're not going to be able to keep up with demand until February. Demand will actually slow down in February. Okay? But that's why, I understand that, and there were people posting screenshots online of Demon Souls and Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I saw them, and I think it was cool that they were doing that. But that's why I put that tweet out. I put out, what did I put out? I said, I think it's great that you all got the bag, but you got to remember the majority of people don't have it. So, shout out to everybody posting screenshots, but you're not going to see any from me until most of you all have it. That's just the only way I can really be considerate about it. I think it's terrible that people can't get their hands on. You can't walk into your local, wherever, big box store and just pick one up. Okay? And I don't think it's going to be like that until February or March. But, I don't think it's unfair what Sony and Microsoft is doing. You can argue that they should have just spent the rest of 2020 mass producing, then put them out January 1st. Something like that. That's fine to say that. Okay. But don't sit up here and tell, not me, do not tell me, grown-ass man, that you deserve something because you waited in line. Well, this is inconsiderate. Oh, they told us that you only had 2, but that doesn't mean they're going to have more. There was one person, they were at the mall, and this was funny. And it's probably, I'll say this and I'll wrap everything up. They were in line. The guy walks out, the manager walks out, and says, we are out of PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S's, and X's, the first thing that comes out of somebody's mouth is they're lying. They're lying. I mean, it's the first thing these people say. You're lying. You're lying. There's more in there. Like, there's nothing in there. You know, he said we had 2 Series X's, we had 2 Series X's, and they had 3 PlayStation 5s. And that's what they got. And so these people were mad as hell. Well, man, I've been standing here since we've been outside. You know, somebody said he'd been outside for 22 hours. It's like, really? I mean, I bet you smell, man. I mean, how can you be outside for 22 hours? I've done that before. I know you smell. I mean, I remember I smelled like that thing that's in the bottom of the trash can. You know, that thing that no matter how much you scrub it, it don't come out. I smelled like that after waiting in line to watch Star Wars Episode 1. We were out there for 28 hours, okay, on the side of the Cinemark building with tents up with a sign that said, the Force starts here. And the only Force that started, I'm looking at it back then, is fun. Oh, this is great. You know, we walked down to Dairy Queen and got some blizzards. The Force starts here. The only thing that was forceful was the smell coming out of our tents because we were there for 20 plus hours. You know, so, I mean, so like I said, I bet that dude smelled, man. I mean, it's like that one guy on Xbox that said he played for like 30 hours straight. I bet he smelled like a box of hot ganabs, you know, by the time he was done. I mean, how can you be like that? I mean, seriously, I understand it though, but I mean, you don't deserve it, okay? Like, I was here for 3 days, therefore I deserve one. Like, no, you don't. What's up, King Thrash? So, I mean, again, so what do we learn today? You learn PS5 is the most powerful console out there. Okay? It is. It's a done deal. When something happens one time, you can say it happened one time. Something happens 2 to 3 more times, you can say it's a coincidence. It happens all the time. It's a trend. All these multi-plat games that are coming out look and run better on PlayStation 5. It's either they're running better or they look better, and sometimes it's a combination of both of them. Okay, so again, I do not. It doesn't matter to me. I have a PC. I will always have the best version of Xbox games on PC. You know, if you're into multi-plat games, I highly recommend you buy a PC. And or you build one. It's not that difficult. I can do it. You can do it. You know, so if it's about the gamepad on the Xbox, the gamepad plugs right in. Same gamepad that you've been using on your Xbox, you can turn around and plug it in on your PC. Dig? So that's it's not difficult. But what's going on with the Xbox, and because you all got lied to by certain podcasters, what is going on and what I've been told is that there's a bottleneck with the CPU, and there's also some issues with the memory that's not unified. Okay? It's an issue in a sense. It's not that it won't make. It's not like. All right, let me make this clear. It's going to be an issue because the competing box, the PlayStation 5, has unified RAM. Everything's unified, so everything's running smoother. Now, what is the fix to this? The fix to this is, and Digital Foundry was right, you're going to have to drop resolution on your games in order to cut down on frame rate, cut down on FPS, and cut down on screen tearing. And that's exactly what you're seeing happening. So Microsoft has made the adjustment, and yeah, I mean, I've seen games running at, they still running at 1080p, and this is why I said on my own podcast here, there's nothing wrong with 1080p. I specifically said that. And people were like, oh no, this is next gen. Everything should be 4K. Like, all right. I specifically said nothing's wrong with dynamic. There's nothing wrong with checkerboarding. There's nothing wrong with sparse rendering techniques. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. The Series X is 12 T-flops. It's going to be able to do everything in native 4K. It's like, well, okay. All right. And all, and this whole thing on, shout out to Porter Rock. I'll have to steal his vernacular here. The Microsoft DirectX has machine learning, and that's the only version it's going to handle. It's going to work. Nothing else is going to work. But PlayStation can't use the Microsoft DirectX. They got to use something else. It's not going to be that good. And then they just announced that Vulkan now has machine learning and ray tracing. Okay? So, again, I just, this whole notion of, we have to push this BS narrative because they already knew that Sony was going to destroy them in sales. They already knew it. So they had to go ahead and say the Xbox is better because it's going to be able to do this. And the PlayStation will not. Okay? It was VRS. Well, Sony hasn't disclosed VRS. They haven't disclosed it's got it. Therefore, they don't have it. They don't have it yet. Xbox got it. Xbox is better. And then, it does have VRS. It just happens higher. It happens at a point in the pipeline that where you all would get VRS on your Xboxes, it's happening later on down the road, so to speak. Down your pipe, where VHS, where VRS hops on your interstate for Xbox is later in the pipeline than it does for Sony. They're not going to disclose every single thing, which led into, well, Sony's scared. Sony needs to do this. I've heard PlayStation guys say that it was good for Sony not to say anything. I'm like, Negro, you were just bitching about Sony, not disclosing stuff months ago. The same guys are like, well, no, it was good for them not to disclose everything. Well, nobody discloses everything. Not even Microsoft has disclosed everything about the processes that they had, because some of that is still AMD's. If AMD has a process in there, well, it's out in public now. But the way that things react in the Series X, that's all patented. Microsoft has patented some of it, and so has AMD. So Microsoft is not going to be able to disclose everything, okay? That's the way it is, the way they keep. Now, Lisa Su may disclose some stuff at the Gaming Awards. Lisa Su or somebody else at AMD next year at CES, they may disclose some other stuff about the PlayStation that we don't know about. Okay? Or they may not say nothing. Lisa Su may just, she may show up and give them the middle finger and leave. I don't know. But then you got some bad actors in the community, but you got some good dudes. You got guys like a J-Dub City. You got guys like Emmer17. You got guys like Sick Humor, King Thrash. You got people like that. Titanfall Princes. You got people out there that actually are trying to get you all information, and not only, Optimus Code, not only are they getting you the correct information, they're trying to explain to you all why the processes are working like this, And you got some fruit booties out there that are moist. You notice those Xbox guys, they don't hardly come to the channel anymore. They don't. They do not come to the channel. They used to. Okay, they used to. They don't anymore, because now that the truth is out, and we would still remember. I still remember what you guys were saying. And you don't think we won't drag your sorry ass up and down? I will do that to you. Okay, I will drag you up and down the dial. So it's, but that doesn't mean I don't want you not to comment. You can comment and say, hey, look, I got this wrong. I listened to the wrong people. That's the first thing you need to come with, is called an apology. And then you need to understand that PlayStation is the more powerful console, and Kratos is the one true God. And as soon as you accept that, everything will be fine. You know, but if you're going to argue, if you're going to be like, well, this is better and that's better, and, now you're hearing things like, well, I'm just going to play where my friends are. You're hearing people say, well, sales don't count. You're now hearing things, well, who cares about pixels? I'm playing games. These are the same cats who just said that 4K native everything on Series X versus checkerboard rendering on the PlayStation 5. And you have the opposite happen. You do have the opposite happen. Again, I don't have an issue with checkerboard rendering. Okay, I don't have an issue with none of that. Okay, if rendering through a checkerboarding sequence helps keep my game stable at 60 or wherever you are making it, I don't have an issue with it. Okay. But I've said before that, now it's just like we just want to play the games. Well, you don't get to say that because you were just over here saying something else. Okay? You can't sit up here and say that the ice is colder on this side and then now that the ice ain't colder, act like you didn't say it. That's the term that I've used. You don't get to pull your pants out. You don't get to pull your pants down and pull your dick out on Monday and then act like on Tuesday you're a victim. That does not work. Period. So, look, it is what it is. It's a holiday season. There's a lot of things to be thankful for. There's some people who are going to be missing their daughter, their husbands, their cousins, their sisters, their nieces because of other things going on in the world. And, and so don't get upset that you can't get the bag. I mean, the PlayStation 5 will be there next year. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, the Series X is not going anywhere. You'll be able to go into the stores in the next 100 days and get them. I promise you, you'll be able to do it. End of February, early March, you'll be able to walk into your store and get one. And then by May, you're going to walk in the store and be like, oh, yeah, they had plenty of Series X's. Oh, yeah, they had plenty of Series S's. Oh, yeah, they had PlayStations. Yeah, it's going to not just be a big deal. And the longer you wait, the more you'll have to play. Maybe Ember Labs announces a release date for Kenna Bridges Spirits. Maybe Polyphony Studios announces a launch date for Gran Turismo 7. Okay? Again, I can't play those games either, and I have a PlayStation 5. I can't play the game either. And you all know Kenna Bridges Spirits is one of my most look forward to games. Okay, and guess what? Just like you, I can't play it. Just because I have the bag doesn't mean I can play it. I can order it. I do believe I can order it digitally, but I'm still hoping that Ember Labs makes a physical copy. Right now, it's not scheduled to. Got my fingers crossed. Cause maybe Santa says ho 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 physical. But yeah, so had people taking the default setting of I'm just going to play the games, that you wouldn't be where we are now. So I don't look at it as a console war anymore. Microsoft is DOA with their console. We're back to, Lincoln Clay pointed this out the other day on Twitter, we're back to articles talking about exclusive games being anti-consumer. That's already starting to come back. I mean, this baby is not even out of the womb yet, and they're already attacking exclusive games. You have that. You have Forbes with the opinion article that the Xbox Series X was just the biggest waste of time ever. Okay, so, just it is what it is. You have Cyberpunk coming out, which very well could be one of the most disappointing games ever because it's called Cyberpunk. Because you had content creators who actually were involved in the game constantly talk the game up. Okay? They constantly talk the game up. So I certainly hope it turns out to be a good game. I mean, I'm buying the game. I'll be picking the game up on Friday the 11th. I'm working on Thursday. People are like, well, the game comes out on... I got to work. I got to make up for my sick day that I'm having today. Ugh. So let me get to the Q&A here about the bag, and I'll go to there and say, Yeah, I did get the bag. I'm very lucky to get the bag. I mean, it's just it wasn't by my skill. It wasn't by. It was just pure chance and luck. Okay, that's all it was. Pure chance and luck. I need to play Demon Souls. Eric, it looks too much like Oblivion to me, but I may give it a whirl next year. So we'll have to wait and see about Cyberpunk. I mean, to me, I've always said the game's called Cyberpunk, so I'm not expecting a whole lot about it. It looks like a bigger version of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. You know, because I say to people, what are you doing, Cyberpunk? Like, well, you get the hack stuff. Did that in Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Well, you get to use cybernetic implants. Yeah, I did that in Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I mean, you know, that's the truth, right? I'm not lying. Well, it's going to be better. How do you know? Have you played it? No. Well, how do you know it's better? That's like saying that you know that the horse with the red mane is going to outrun the horse with the black mane. Like, how do you know? You don't know. So, so there's a Japanese article. Turner says, great shout out to you. Said from 4Gamer that Sony may have to do a PS5 motherboard revision in case they want to widen the motherboard SSD more than 825 gigabytes. Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see if they actually have to do that. So, I mean, I wish I had 825 gigabytes on my... I mean, I have 1,000 now, but it's not unified. I got 2 SSDs. So, I actually have 3 SSDs now. So, any questions about the PS5 here? And oldest, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, that's a card game. I need an HDMI 2.1 TV. Oh, no. I gotta pay this off. I gotta pay this off first. And nothing else is coming into this house. After the monitor, then we got that food ninja thingy, and with the bag, that's it. I'm good, you know. I'm good. So yeah, Mark Cerny told them it was dangerous to talk reckless. Well, he just told them that you can't measure everything in T-flop. So, and he's right. He's right. Okay. So, rumor is the PS. This is what's up, Bader A. He says, rumor is the PS5 has a shared L3 cache for the CPU, just like the Zen 3. That's a big deal for performance. That may be true. There could be some smoke there for that. Let's see here. Ramon says 1080p looks blurry because you're spoiled. 1080p at high graphic settings, you're not gonna be spoiled. Trust me. That to me is what Xbox should do. Like the Series X, 12 knobby T-flops, 1440p, ultra settings, 60 FPS on everything. That's what they should do. Okay, that's just my opinion. That is my opinion on it. But that's what I would do. Like, if I'm there, I'm like, okay, look, the first party stuff, yeah, we could target 4K because, you know, but second and third party, 1440p, 60, ultra settings, give it, you know, with ray tracing on there, and then you give us a 4K 30 mode with ray tracing as well. So, you know, that's what I would do. So, Rudy Legend says he never got a trophy or ribbon. I accepted. I'm a loser. Yeah, the thing is about losing is you still learn from it. There's a movie called The Last Jedi. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. The Last Jedi is about learning through failure. Okay? It's about learning through failure. So.
Oh, yeah.
Dare intrudes. Oh, V'ger with the 119 sec. Shout out to your brother. Activating the Booty Buster, who says he thinks it's also stupid that people are calling out on the PS5 Pro because Sony, a hardware company, are concepting and prototyping on future hardware. Years from becoming reality, most likely a PS6 concept. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, I understand that. Hey, good dude, I didn't even mention it. It's a rumor. It's a rumor. And I've said this before. Remember when I got accused of lying about the Xbox One being a tower? There's like, how many designs are they going to go through before they settle on the design that they want? Okay, so maybe one of the designs for the PS-5 was dual. Maybe they had a dual chamber set. I mean, who knows? They may have 100 things patented that we'll just never know. Okay, I thought it was hilarious that the Xbox One had a tower concept, and then but that's not what they went with, right? Xbox One was a console. All right, Xbox One, S and X was a console, but the one that came afterwards, the one that followed it up, is a tower. So maybe what was shown was a future version of the Xbox in a tower form. Okay, they're both towers. The Series S and the Xbox Series X are towers. They stand up. So, I mean, again, it's just, these people are just dumb as hell, accusing people of stuff, not understanding that there are going to always be prototypes of car. Like, I saw the prototype of a Camry, of a Toyota Camry from like 2002. I now see the prototype. It's been 20 years almost. So a friend of mine works for Toyota. He got me the specs on what it looked like. What you see driving on the road does not look like what they were supposed to do in 2002. But that was one of the original concepts of the car. And like I said, you got a bunch of stupid ass people on the internet. Okay, you got some smart ones too. But you got all this information at your fingertips and you don't use it. Okay, and I'll never understand that as somebody who used to have to go to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System. If I had a phone or some type of tablet device with more power, let me make this clear. The cell phones you have in your hand is more powerful than the computing power that NASA used to land on the moon. Okay? I want you to really think about that. How much power you have in your hands, but yet these stupid, ignorant people online don't use it. Because it's easier to sit back and click, type, click, and be a keyboard warrior. Knowing that if you showed up at some of these clowns' doors, they would wet their pants in front of you. Okay, they would just wet their pants. So, it is what it is. So, it is what it is. So, there's always going to be different things that different companies will do. And there's different concepts that they're going to use. And when you have that, you're going to have things get out. Somebody can say, yeah, I saw a flight stick. I saw a Warthog flight stick. Okay? I saw it 4.5 to 5 years ago. I saw the concept. I'm like, there's no way they're going to build this. I was like, there's no way. Guess what? They built it. They built it. And so I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to get serious about my flight sims, I need to look at these sticks. So, you all have more technology in your hand than, I don't know if you know what happened to Apollo 13. Apollo 13 started bleeding fuel into space. They made a movie about it called Apollo 13. They had to get that rocket ship back here with like 13 to 14 ohms. Okay? That is nothing. That is nothing. But they got a rocket ship back on it. And what do you all, and there's a bunch of idiots talking about, well, I can just go online and do this and I can go and do that. It's just, you're in a time where technology is at your fingertips. So just use it, guys. Use the information superhighway, which is the nickname for the internet given to it by my generation, Gen X. Use it to improve your life situations and be smarter about what you're talking about. Just do that in 2021. Don't get upset about the bag. The bag will be there. You don't deserve the bag because you waited in line like a daggone Kansas City sweat hog and you decide, oh, well, I'm going to wait here all night long and I'm going to speak a PS5 and Xbox into existence because, you know what, I'm a spoiled brat whose mommy and daddy got me everything that I wanted to. Therefore, Sony and Microsoft is going to be inconsiderate if they don't let us do the same thing here. And then when you couldn't get one, you call, oh, they're lying. GameStop's calling their friends. GameStop's hoarding devices. It's all this stuff. It's almost, it falls under I'm white and I say so. You know, that's just the best way to say it at this point. It just falls under that. Got no proof of what you're saying. You know, oh no, it is. You know, it is what it is. But guys, I'm going to get off here and take some more Vicks. And I'm going to lay down on the couch. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow if I survive whatever the heck's going on. So, deuces to everybody. Shout out to everybody that came by. Appreciate the super chat there, V'ger. Certainly hope you and your family are doing well. I will, yeah, Capono says, nah, NASA lied. Okay, present your evidence or that's just going to